So it looked like DiJonai Carrington just got booted from the Dallas Wings.
DiJonai, your game was stinking in the mud, and the Dallas Wings wanted nothing to do with you going forward.
DiJonai Carrington was kicked off the Dallas Wings after a season that felt less like a playoff run and more like a reality show gone off the rails. It wasn't just the usual locker room drama or a personality clash. This was bigger, messier, and far more public. Some fans claimed they saw it coming. Others were simply relieved. But almost everyone agreed. Something had snapped in Dallas and no one could look away. For months, the Dallas Wings struggled to manage a player whose name had become synonymous with controversy. Carrington wasn't just another tough defender who built her brand on relentless effort. She developed a reputation for on-court chaos.
Now, DiJonai Carrington couldn't keep her hands clean either. With staying out of headlines on the internet, she was always in headlines, punching players in the eye. And then we have to remember, she nearly injured Paige. Like, everybody forgot about that. Y'all remember when she nearly injured Paige, nearly took her whole knee out? Like, we got to remember all of those things transpired during this basketball season, man. For her to tell you, they made it their business to get rid of her.
Both intentional and incredibly disruptive. This season alone, she racked up 4 flagrant fouls, a statistic that would make even the most physical players nervous. But what really sealed her fate was an incident so explosive that game officials actually called for security during a live broadcast. That's the kind of headline you expect from viral internet stories, not the professional WNBA. When referees need backup just to make it through post-game handshakes, something's gone seriously wrong. The warning signs were always there, but most fans never expected things to spiral so quickly. Just a few months prior, Carrington made national headlines for an on-court moment that instantly went viral. It was the 2024 WNBA playoffs, and the matchup couldn't have been more high stakes. The famed rookie Caitlin Clark versus the Connecticut Sun. Carrington's assignment? Defend Clark, keep her off the board, and as the world would soon witness, rewrite the narrative for all the wrong reasons.
DiJonai, you're always in a dirty play. DiJonai, once again, here we are today. Oh, DiJonai.
It happened in a flash. As Clark took her signature shot, Carrington's hand came sweeping over, not toward the ball, but straight to Clark's face. In that split second, Clark's head snapped back and she fell, clutching her eye. The replay would loop on every sports network for weeks. Carrington, grim and unapologetic, standing over her opponent. Clark was left with a black eye, but it was Carrington's reputation that took the real bruising. If this all sounds like an accident, think again. Fans and analysts were quick to dig into the aftermath, searching for any sign of remorse or reconsideration from Carrington. None came. Instead, she doubled down, deflecting blame and sticking to the same hard-nosed style. During press interviews, she shrugged off the controversy. "I don't even know why I'd intend to hit anybody in the eye," she said. "That doesn't make sense to me. I was just trying to make a play on the ball." But not everyone bought the explanation. Rumors started swirling that the move was more calculated than anyone wanted to admit, pointing to a pattern of similar accidents over her brief but turbulent career. And the pattern only got worse.
As everyone else has seen this angle, I'm calling her in, and I'm saying to her, I need answers.
It wasn't long before Carrington was back in headlines for reasons that had nothing to do with her stat line. In a late-season matchup against the Seattle Storm, she found herself defending Skylar Diggins on a fast break. Instead of going for a clean block, Carrington made contact with Diggins' head. It was called a flagrant one, but everyone watching knew it was bigger than that. The comment sections exploded. "That's not defense, that's targeting." Each replay angle made things clearer. Carrington was leading with her arms, but her eyes were always on her opponent's face. Was this aggressive defense gone wrong, or a deliberate attempt to rattle the league's brightest stars? Reports started surfacing that rival coaches had warned their players to prepare for extra physical play, with Carrington's number highlighted on every scouting report. The criticisms weren't even limited to her clashes with rivals. In a play that would become infamous within the Dallas locker room, Carrington's out-of-control style ended up putting her own teammate, Paige Bueckers, in jeopardy. It was the kind of moment that coaches dread, a scrappy play, players converging for a rebound, and suddenly Carrington is flying into traffic with enough force to knock out anyone in her path. She was aiming for Minnesota's Jessica Shepard, but Paige Bueckers paid the price, nearly getting caught in the collision. Watching the replay, it's almost hard to believe another player could miss so badly and endanger their own side. Even the most seasoned fans cringed, knowing a split-second difference could have put Bueckers out for the season. From that day, the mood around the Wings began to sour. Whispered complaints from teammates turned into visible tension during practice and games. "How do you build trust?" one Dallas insider confided, "when everyone's looking over their shoulder?" The chemistry unraveled. Players stopped celebrating together after big plays. Coaches looked on, visibly frustrated, as Carrington either refused to dial it back or simply couldn't. It wasn't just about winning anymore. With Carrington on the floor, the risk to the team always seemed higher. A stray elbow, a flying arm, a reckless lunge that could end a season or cost them a playoff run. The Wings' gamble on grit and toughness had backfired. If it seemed like things couldn't possibly get worse, the Chicago Sky game proved otherwise. Here, Carrington reached a level of infamy few players in league history have ever approached. As Dallas walked off after a tense, hard-fought loss, Carrington's heated words with referee Roy Golbian escalated so quickly that Golbian, one of the league's most experienced, signaled for security. Just take a second to absorb that. A professional basketball referee who regularly deals with high-pressure situations and passionate arguments felt uncomfortable enough to call for backup. For most franchises, that's rock bottom. Players reported that he looked unnerved as security stepped onto the floor, not something anyone's accustomed to in major U.S. sports leagues. The league's code of conduct was clear. But up until that point, few had really considered the possibility that a player could cross the line so publicly. Carrington, for her part, seemed oblivious to how her actions looked to outsiders. "Security when I'm literally having a civil conversation is insane," she posted online, almost mocking the officials who had put their safety first. In the meme-happy world of social media, her response went viral for all the wrong reasons. Clips of her protest circled the web, with fans getting creative in the comments. It's almost as if she'd forgotten that by that point, the league was watching her every move. A wave of backlash hit Dallas nearly overnight. The phrase "Fire Carrington" started trending as frustrated fans turned their anger online. The consensus was clear: the team's culture had imploded, and Carrington was the catalyst. Coaches' meetings that used to focus on game strategy devolved into tense discussions about liability, fan image, and the future of the club. Sources close to the team admitted it was the last straw. The moment referees had to call for protection, the decision was made. Dallas would have to make a move, no matter how painful it might be. The trade that followed sent shockwaves through the league. Dallas announced they were sending Carrington to the Minnesota Lynx in exchange for Diamond Miller, Carly Samuelson, and a coveted 2027 draft pick. For many fans, it was a much-needed cleansing, free from constant controversy and adding real talent to stabilize the team. Diamond Miller, the 2023 number 2 overall pick, came with a reputation for smooth scoring, court leadership, and a three-point shot that made defenses nervous, nailing over 50% from deep in 2025. Samuelson, despite coming off an injury, offered experience and steady locker room presence, something Dallas desperately craved. The future draft pick was just icing on the cake, an extra vote of confidence that better days were coming. Minnesota's move, on the other hand, was met with a mix of curiosity and confusion. The Lynx were championship contenders, a 24-win, 5-loss juggernaut pushing for their first title since the days of Maya Moore. Why invite the storm of drama and unpredictability Carrington brought with her? Rumors suggested head coach Cheryl Reeve believed she could be the one to tame Carrington and turn her aggression into winning edge. But as one league insider quipped, it's a gamble. Sometimes you roll the dice, sometimes the dice explode. With a recent injury to star Nafessa Collier, the Lynx were also pressed for reliable depth. But whether reliability and Carrington belonged in the same sentence was up for debate. As the dust settled, both teams had to face a new reality. Dallas, at least on paper, walked away as winners. The mood in the locker room shifted from sour to energizing. With Carrington gone, the Wings finally had a chance to rebuild their chemistry.
Went and kind of swatted at Caitlin. Did you intend to hit her in the eye? And if so, could you just, or if not, either way, could you talk about what happened on that play?
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me. But no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her, actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball, and I guess I followed through and I hit her. So obviously it's never intentional. That's not even like the type of player that I am.
No more answering for viral foul clips or defending dangerous antics to the media. Instead, they could talk up Miller's relentless work ethic and Samuelson's calming influence. Maybe even let themselves dream about a playoff push built on trust, teamwork, and actual basketball skill. For fans, it was a sigh of relief. The endless swirl of controversy was finally behind them. "This feels like a fresh start," one longtime supporter said. "I just want to root for the team again, not defend their mistakes." But for Carrington, the next chapter couldn't be more high stakes. She's walking into a Minnesota locker room already wary of her reputation. The message from both inside and outside the Lynx organization is unmissable. Blend in, buy in, or move on. There's no appetite for more chaos, not with a title run on the line. "This is her last shot," said one former player. "If she can't flip the switch and play clean, she might not see another WNBA season." Social media rumors hinted that the Lynx's coaching staff had already laid down the law. There would be no special treatment, no tolerance for circus acts, and definitely no second chances if her antics damage the team's focus. Time will tell if Carrington can adapt and become the contributor Minnesota needs. Her defenders still insist her playstyle is just misunderstood, that a few high-profile incidents overshadowed real flashes of basketball brilliance. And yes, there's always a place in pro sports for passion, especially the kind that can turn a close game with a steal or a lockdown defensive possession. But even her most loyal supporters have to admit,
let's watch it, and this will give us a couple of different angles.
Records of games. There's the tip. Diggins, who's still fast, gets down the floor, buries it, draws the foul, but is shaken up.
Intent matters, and this season's highlight reel reads much more like a cautionary tale than a list of career accomplishments. If you listen to the quiet voices around the league, you'll hear a common refrain. Talent only matters if you can stay on the floor and keep your teammates there with you. With Collier's injury heightening the stakes for Minnesota, every decision, every play is magnified. The question for the Lynx is no longer just about championship odds. It's about whether they can integrate a high-risk, high-drama player without splintering the tight chemistry that got them this far. "All eyes are on them now," an analyst said. If Carrington can flip the script, Minnesota might just steal the title. If not, everyone will know who to blame.
And there's Skylar on the floor. At first glance, this might not look too bad. But when we get some different angles of it, you just see how this is clearly, definitely, 100% not a basketball play. Let's take a look. We got DiJonai. DiJonai, did you forget what sport you're playing? You know this is basketball, right?
Meanwhile, fans across the WNBA continue to debate whether some players truly change or if past behavior always catches up. For every story of a bad girl gone good, there are just as many examples of careers derailed by stubbornness and ego. The stakes are never higher than when a team takes that risk in the championship window. Can a notorious reputation be left behind when
ball's being pushed down for it? Yeah, I mean, this will be a better angle of it. I think we'll be able to see how hard the foul is right here. That's a hard foul, and she does get her in the face when she's coming down.
there's a new jersey to wear and a clean slate to claim? Only time and a string of peaceful, drama-free games will tell. As the next round of the season begins, all eyes will be glued not just to the scoreboard, but to every move Carrington makes in Minnesota. Will she finally rein in the chaos, letting her undeniable athleticism shine without the fireworks?
Was it a flagrant 1? Yes. Could it have been called a flagrant 2? Yes. Was it more dangerous to Paige Bueckers than anyone else? Because Paige Bueckers was the one who was the person with the break Jessica Shepard's fall. Could she have blown out her teammate's knee? Yeah. Yeah. Like, that is what, like, realistically, that is what the conversation should be about. Because she wanted the Kiki Iriafen viral meme. Because as soon as she did it, look at what she does as soon as she did it. As soon as she did, she walks towards Jessica Shepard and just tries to do the Kiki Iriafen.
Or will the Lynx find themselves dealing with the same headaches that drove Dallas to trade her at the earliest opportunity? One thing's for sure, no matter what side you're on, you can't look away. Some trades are about talent, some are about fit. But every once in a while, a deal comes along that's about so much more than basketball. It's about culture, reputation, and the thin line between competitive fire and all-out meltdown. So, what happens next? Has Minnesota made the boldest move of the season, betting their future on a player everyone else warned them about? Or have they just imported the kind of problem that can unravel even the tightest locker room? Does Dallas regret letting go, or will they finally find peace and wins without the extra baggage? Let me know in the comments. Did the Dallas Wings make the right call? Can DiJonai Carrington turn her career around and help bring a title to Minnesota? Or are we just days away from another headline for all the wrong reasons? One way or another, this story is far from over. The only question left is, whose chapter gets written next?